Hello, Revere, and welcome to our Revere Veterans and Community Show. Today I have a double veteran. Most of you people know him and love him. He is former Mayor Bob Haas. Bob, thank you for taking the time to come up.
It's always my pleasure.
Come on,
it's always my pleasure.
I don't want to go off here. Okay. And also, you're a military veteran and a community veteran, so you are a double veteran. Thank you for showing up.
My pleasure.
Now, you've been a councilor before you became mayor.
Yeah, I was a councilor from 1980 to 2000 to 1992. Okay,
Right.
12 years.
Now, when you first came in, what do you see today that's more improved than when you first started?
Well, I think everything is improved. All right. When I was mayor, we had a budget of approximately $69 million. Now the budget is up $100 million from that point. But the things have changed. You've got union contracts now. You've got bonded debt interest, which makes for a lot of money for the taxpayers. The problem that we have in Revere is the court-mandated assessments, such as EPA, they're assessing us $100 million to clean up the water issue in Revere, and that's all on the taxpayers. All on the taxpayers, you know.
So the EPA, in case people don't know, that stands for the Environment Protection.
Oh, exactly. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay.
It does, and that's a major cost in the community. Then, as I said, you have your union contracts. You have your supplies and everything else have gone up, but there comes a time when you have to say no and mean it. When I was mayor, we had over 8 years, we hired one person in that time, and that was for an HR person, and that person, the council decided they didn't like her, and they eliminated her from the budget. Just in this past budget, we added 17 people. So I think you have to look at where your priorities are, etc. And it takes quite an effort to run as mayor when you're fighting against the city council on every turn, without question.
I knew you when you were mayor because you were the people's mayor, just like we have the mayor today, Mr. Dan Rizzo. He's also the people's mayor, and so was the one before him, Tommy Apposino, and I believe he came after you, Tommy?
After me, right. Tommy after me.
And he's now the head of Chelsea.
Right. He's got a great job over there, let me tell you. It's a town manager. He reports the city council over there, and they're his boss. He doesn't have to run for any elections out there. One
thing I would like to say to Tommy, I hope he knows how to speak Spanish, because when I go to Chelsea,
he's going to learn. He's going to learn fast. Let me tell you.
I know that. I have some great Latinos people that live over there.
Absolutely.
And by the way, talking about Latinos, we have a couple that come to our senior center.
Yep.
One comes from San Salvador.
Yep.
One comes from Colombia. Spanish-speaking people, and they are terrific.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They come into our neighborhood. They work at. It takes them a while to learn the language.
A little. Yep.
Okay, but beyond that, they're good people. Without question.
When you were mayor, Revere was predominantly not as a melting pot like it is now, because since this time here, we have people coming from the Middle East, from Africa.
Right. We originally had a major influx of Cambodians, and the Cambodians come to the Shirley Ave area. They pull their resources.
Yep.
They did very well. They went out and moved to Lynn, and from Lynn they went to Lawrence, and a lot of them moved to Linfield. So that proves, hard work. You get what you want,
And we had a lot of Koreans here too.
Yep, absolutely.
From South Korea. I don't know if it was from south or the north, but we did have a lot of Korean people.
No question.
And now we have a lot of people from the Muslim community from Asia.
Right,
from,
exactly.
From all the countries, from Iran, Iraq.
Yeah, we're like a melting pot.
We are.
Okay?
We are.
We have many different cultures in Revere. In a surprising part, you have a city council and a school committee which has no minorities to speak of. All right? And I think their day is going to come like it happened over in Chelsea with Juan Vega. Okay, he ran once and didn't make it. He ran a second time, made it. And I guess it's the quality of the individual that people are looking for. all right?
But you know something? We do have the best school in the country, and we did have the best superintendent in the country before he retired.
Paul Dakin was excellent, without question.
He was voted #1 out of the 50, so that speaks for itself.
Right. We have quality education in Revere.
Yep.
If the children want it, it's there. Okay, and we have a lot of accolades from the various state, federal grants that recognize Revere in its student body.
You know, it's funny that you should mention that, because not too long ago, Samsung Corporation, if I remember, gave an award to us, and they gave us a bunch of computers because we were the best of the best.
No question about it.
So they donated that to us. So now I would like to go on and ask you about, what would you like to see for the future of Revere?
I like to see, you know, as far as the build out of Revere, we don't have that much land to build on. And I like to see a major portion of it to be commercial. We have enough residential in Revere. We have 297 next to my home down the boulevard, then another 300. They're talking up in North Gate. They have another 300 there. And all these kids are going to be coming into our school system. And I think we have to really stop the
I was just going to ask you about that, Mayor Haas. You know, not only talking about the kids coming into school, but the infrastructure itself. But the more people you have, the more water you use, the more sewage you use.
Absolutely.
That has to go, the sewage has to go somewhere, and the water has to come from somewhere.
Exactly. Well, you know, you have a rental unit, they charge, I don't know, $1,000 a month, get $12,000. But if the person, like we just had a down at Shirley Ave, we just dedicated a Revere Housing Authority unit. It was 3 families. The first one was a single parent with 5 kids. Second floor was a single parent with 4 kids. And the bottom level was 2 kids. So you're talking, you know, 11 kids in one house. To educate those kids, that's going to cost the taxpayers of Revere a fortune. And that's why I say we need commercial development.
Right.
You know, hotels, whatever it may be, because we get a tax in hotels that comes directly back to the city.
You know, another thing I was going to ask you, Mayor, is about the new high school they're talking about, because the one that they have now, they says, is it insufficient, or is it because it's old?
It's old. It's not effective. When they come in last year, they did a survey on it. They will not give it the upper standings that you would want from your school.
Oh.
And I think what they are doing now, they're looking for a place to build it, either on site location, okay, and disrupt the soccer field or whatever.
That's what I was going to say. That would be the best place to build it, would be right there.
Right.
And then tear down the school, the old school, and make that the parking lot.
Exactly.
Yep.
But again, you know, we're putting more money into the roof of it. It's leaking, so we've got another bond issue coming up to repair that roof. So you have to look at where you're going to spend the money.
Right.
You know.
And if I may ask you, I don't know, because I'm not that familiar, has there been any amounts put out about the new, how much the new high school would cost?
They haven't estimated that at this point in time, but I guarantee you it's up there in the millions and millions of dollars.
And does the state help us out on any of that?
Well, there was many different programs, okay. I think the Hill School, they paid 80%, we paid the balance. But again, the balance is still a lot of money, $20 million. So it's not like, you know, they're footing the whole bill. We have to furnish it, etc. No.
Okay.
You know.
Now I got to ask you, you were mayor for how many years?
8 years.
8 years?
2-term mayor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me, but I'm going to ask you, do you think you were a good mayor?
It's a hard question. It depends on who you're asking it. But honestly, as the mayor, I think I did a good job.
I think you did too, because I knew you well.
Matter of fact, it's the last time that we stabilized the tax rate, okay, and we had a reduction. It was only 6 cents, but 6 cents reduction, and since then it's gone up, it's spiraled out of control, okay. We were no-nonsense mayor, okay.
You were more like the people's mayor. You always went around speaking to the people just like this mayor does.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm a people person, I always have been. I only ask questions when I think I have to. Okay, some people ask questions. Every question is the same, basically.
I have
you
to
know.
say this to you, but people don't realize that where I live on Standish Road, we used to get a lot of water, flooded. As a matter of fact, sometimes the water came right up to the first
Right.
floor. And that was during your reign of mayor. But you made sure that the pumping station, ironically, the man who had the key for the pumping station lived in Bellingham.
Right.
And I think it was you that made
Right.
sure that the key stayed in
Right,
Revere.
exactly.
So
You know.
I want to thank
I
you
mean,
for that.
that's a crazy situation where the East Boston pumping station, Revere, okay, the guy that has the keys lives in Bellingham.
Right.
That's insane. But that's the way the government at that point in time worked. So then we made a request, and they finally kept the key in Revere.
And I believe you also put on the new gates on their Suffolk Downs.
Yes,
What the
yeah.
reservoir there?
Tidal gates, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. We did a lot of infrastructure, tide gates in Martin Street, the B&M railroads. We did a lot of infrastructure. And I'm not the type that's going to go toot my horn, but again, you asked me, you know, how do I think I did? I think we did very well.
I think you did
Yeah,
very well too,
yeah.
and I'm sure the people of Revere did
Yeah.
very well because they voted you
Yeah.
to stay there. But
Exactly.
But you went out. Why did you leave the mayor's office, if I may ask?
Well, I got beaten by Tommy Imbasino,
Right.
okay, and I think after 8 years, there were 2-year terms, so you had to run 4 times.
Oh,
And so you habitually running for the office, and I think the people wanted to change because the council was against me at the time. A lot of people were just knocking me. How big is the trench? 4 feet, 5 feet, whatever. And you know, that stuck after a period. And people wanted a new leader, and they chose Tom. Which is a,
Right.
which is
And
a
he
good
turned out
choice.
to be a great
absolute-
mayor,
No
too.
question, no question. He's a good man, you know.
right. And he
Absolutely.
was talking about Tom, if I may say, he was a Harvard graduate.
A-
People
abs-
don't realize
right.
that, and that's one of the
Right.
best schools in the nation.
Absolutely.
And talking about education, I'm glad I mentioned Tommy, who went to Harvard.
Yep.
How about your education? Give us a little about
Well,
that. And
I graduated in '63 from Revere High School. I further went into the military after that. Then I went to work for the Shaw Bank of Boston. And during that interim period, I decided I'm going back to night school. So I went 8 years evenings to Northeastern University.
I went there too. Was it Lincoln Institute that you went to?
No, I graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in finance.
Oh,
Finance. And I went there 8 years, you know, rearing a family at that point in time, and also getting involved in politics. It's crazy. How much can one person do, right?
by the way, talk about your military service too,
Yeah.
where you were in the...
Yeah, I went to Fort Dix. I was in the Army Reserves.
Stop right there. I took my basic training at Fort Dix, New Jersey, as a young kid of 17, right outside of Trenton, New
Right.
Jersey.
I went to Fort Dix also.
Oh.
I guess all people go to most of them go to Fort Dix.
No,
Okay.
only the best of the best.
Oh,
go
without
there.
question.
No offense to
Right,
the other
no,
veterans.
you're right.
We love you all.
I
out
agree.
there.
I agree. And you know, we spent 8 years in the military.
Yep.
And got an honorable discharge, and basically served our time in the military, which was great.
You know, someone told me a joke. Can I tell you a little joke?
Absolutely.
I'll put it as it was me. I was in Germany during the Battle of the Bulge.
Right.
And after the war was over, I was stationed in Berlin. So I was only there 4 hours. I landed at Tempelhof Air Base, and I went in. The captain called me in. He says, Morris, he says, you've been here 4 hours. And Berlin was divided into 4 zones. He says, you've been here 4 hours, and you got the whole Russian army in an uproar. You got the British army in an uproar, the French army in an uproar, and the American army in an uproar. I says, get the hell away from me, Captain. He says, what'd you say? I says, get the hell away from me. He says, you're a fresh kid, Morris. He says, so here's what I'm going to do with you. I'm going to reprimand you, number 1. I'm going to restrict you to the barracks, or court-martial you, or 30 days pay. He said, take your pick. So I thought for a minute, and I says, okay, Captain, I'll take the money. I thought you like a little humor with the military.
One thing about the military, okay, you know, where they abandon it, okay, I think all youngsters should be mandated to go back to the
A
military.
minimum of 6 months.
Right,
If they don't want to do a
exact-
year,
right.
a minimum of 6 months. Every male and every female,
Right,
too.
right.
Everybody should serve a minimum of 6 months.
Right.
In the military, or if community. Either
Right.
one is just
Yeah.
as good.
I believe it's educational, number one. It matures an individual, so they get to see other sides of what's going on.
I got to tell you something, Bill. Right now, I get up early in the morning, and I'm always punctual, or I try to be always earlier than what I should be there. The reason for that is when I was 14 years old back in 1943, the people that went into the Army, they had nobody to work on the farm, so they asked the school kids, high school kids, from freshmen right up to seniors, if they would like to work on the farm. So we wound up in Rutland, Vermont, working on a farm, and I used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go out in the field and bring the cows in and milk the cows. That's how,
Really?
yep.
Really?
And working and then after we had breakfast,
Yep.
went back out and mowed the fields, picked the crops, and that's how we did it at 14.
Right.
And that stuck with me. Then when I turned 17, I says, well, when I turned 16, I tried to get into the Army, but they threw me out because of my age.
Oh, really?
Yep. They were too young because I forged my mother's birth certificate, name on my birth certificate.
Yeah, I think every child should win, without question. You know,
I think it's so terrific. I mean, go into the service of your choice. You want to go into the
Right,
Navy,
absolutely.
Marines, Air Corps,
Right.
Army, but somewhere it's 6 months.
you know, it's patriotism. That's what it's all about.
Also, I would like you to talk about your grandchildren.
Oh, okay. That's my pride and joy.
Yep.
Yeah, my daughter, I've got 2 daughters and a son, Jennifer, Rachel, and Bobby. My daughter Rachel has 3 children, Braden, Noah, and Luca. And it's funny because last week, I moved from Fenley Street. I'm down at 350 Revere Beach Boulevard, or the St. George. So they come down, the whole clan come down to sleep over because they wanted to see the sculptures and the fun, the festive atmosphere. And they had such a ball, it was amazing.
What did you think about the sculptures? I thought
Absolutely
they were
gorgeous.
I know
Tremendous.
that.
Yep. Better and better every year.
Right.
You know, and I don't know where the people can go. There's so much going on down there.
When I was listening to them, they had people from Russia there.
Right. Yep.
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 We may not be getting along with them, but the common folks like us, we get along
Oh,
fine
yeah.
with each other.
Right. You don't even have to speak their language.
Exactly.
You get along.
Exactly.
Right. But the designers down there were absolutely tremendous.
And how long are these sand castles going to, the sand sculptures going to stand up?
They'll stay probably for a week until they really start to deteriorate with the water. Because you can have a storm tonight and there's no effect with them. But all of a sudden, the electricity gets...
Right. Or the rain. When
Right,
it rains,
the
that they
rain.
could become heavier. And
Right,
thing.
exactly.
Well, something people don't realize about, you started a lot of clubs in the city of Revere. Talk about some of them.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, but start from the beginning. Bill.
Okay. I formally got involved with the Revere Rotary Club.
Right.
After many years, I became its president and received the highest award, the Paul Harris Fellow, from the Rotary Club. A bunch of us got together, 3 guys, and we formed the Revere JCs. Okay, there was a JCs in the past, but it was non-functional. So we got it together and we formed the JCs in Revere. And that went for about 10 or 15 years. And I think it's great. You know, the clubs, the people I met in the clubs, it's great. And plus, the clubs do things for Revere. They're all civic-minded, okay. We had the Rotary telephone book for the Rotary Club. That was a moneymaker where we get the proceeds and give scholarships to the high school kids. The JCs, that's strictly a young man's group. They all get involved and help out the city. We had the first road race in Revere. We had a lot of good, innovative
You also
ideas.
started the Chamber of Commerce, I thought.
Yeah, Chamber of Commerce, we formed... There was 3 of us that said there was a former chamber in Revere which was non-existent. People have all passed on, so we decided to resurrect it. And what happened was we got 3 guys together. We formed the Revere Chamber of Commerce, and look at it right now. It's doing tremendous, absolutely tremendous. And again, that's another civic-minded. They do things for the city, many road races, and a lot of good things.
excuse me, you had a veteran who was also president of the Chamber of Commerce. I believe his name was Bob Upton.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, another veteran.
A couple of veterans, right.
Right.
Yeah. We have, and, you know, it expands. You know, you get some people in it for 5 years, they decide to drop out, okay? And you get new people coming in, so it perpetuates itself, you know? And I think they're great organizations, absolutely.
You know, new people come in, they bring in new ideas.
New ideas, that's the whole thing, right? Absolutely.
They bring in the young ideas.
Right.
Because when I was young, we had the abacus. Now we got the calculators and the computers and the smartwatches and the smartphones.
I'll tell you what, you know, talking about my three grandchildren.
Yep.
You want to keep them quiet? Give them each a computer. That's it.
I'm going to tell you one even better than that. My great-granddaughter, she's not even in kindergarten. She's only 4 years old.
Right.
She works the computer, and she was going to teach me about a year or two ago. I wouldn't go near the machine.
Right.
Because I was terrified of those things, really. Now I'm starting to learn. I learned what the switch is so I can shut it up.
That's good, because computers I can't stand, okay? I don't like them.
I got bad news for you then.
I know.
Let me tell you something. I remember I mentioned to you before that Samsung donated a bunch of computers to the city of Revere.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the city of Revere and Mayor Dan Rizzo and the Revere Veterans Service and Revere Allied Veterans gave me a bunch of computers to give to veterans that come on the show.
Oh, really?
Yep. And when you first came on here, I didn't know you were a veteran, but when you mentioned that you are at Fort Dix, where I take my basic training, I got on the phone, I called Samsung, and they said, take care of Mr. Haas. So I got a surprise for you, Bob. You'll never be afraid of a computer again.
Oh, my word,
This is a Samsung computer by the Samsung Corporation. Let me make sure I get this right.
Yeah.
And we give this to a veteran. We don't have many left, but what we do have left, we give it to a veteran. And we would like to present you with one on behalf of the city of Revere and Mayor Dan Rizzo, the Revere Veterans Service.
I appreciate that.
The Revere Allied Veterans Council, and from the people of Revere.
So I can learn how they use it.
Right.
I'll ask my youngsters, my grandkids.
They'll teach you. My granddaughter even helps me out. When I get stuck, I call her up on the phone. So there you go. Get a good shot at that. Get a good shot at Bob. And use it in good health. Isn't that nice?
Very nice. I really appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank the city of Revere and Samsung Corporation because they are the ones that donated that.
Right. Very nice, huh?
Yep. Now I'd like to talk before we go off. We only got about 5 minutes left, but I would like to talk about, we have a Columbus Day parade coming up this year. It's going to be in the city of Revere.
Right. You know, it's great that it's coming back, okay? We always had Columbus Day parades.
Well, we didn't have it for a couple of years.
But when I was mayor, we had one every year. And to raise $60,000, $70,000 back then, that was a lot of money. So you hit the same people, same businesses, right? And some of these organizations, they charge $3,000, $3,500, $4,000 just to march from the O'Riordan's to the church, and that was it. Real quick.
Oh, I thought they were volunteers, most of them.
Oh, no. Every band except for the kids from the school systems, all right? They all got paid. BC, the Roma band, the band from the North End, they all get paid.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, and that's why it ended up when I left as mayor, I think they ran it one more time, and then it was too cost prohibited because all these bands were demanding more and more money.
Right, so Revere got together with East Boston, and they alternate every year.
Right, and that's a good position, okay? Yep. I think it's a great opportunity to bring back the Christopher Columbus Parade. Without question, it's a staple in Revere, and it has been for many years. And to see it go by the wayside, I think was really bad. Okay.
So East Boston puts part of
the bill. It goes into a pot.
Right.
Last year, East Boston ran it. The funds were used from East Boston. This year, Revere's going to run it, and it'll be coming out of the same pot.
So it's not only the businesses of Revere, East Boston, Revere.
Absolutely,
which makes it easier.
Right. Well, it get too expensive. You know, each city have their own.
You say that runs about 60, 70 grand?
Yeah, somewhere in that general vicinity. I know, like BC was 3,500 of the band. Don't forget, some of these are professional bands. It may be a college band, but they're well accepted. Okay, and they're not going to do it for nothing. the kids. So
That's pretty good.
it's a lot of money. And the way they're doing it now, they have their fundraisers throughout the course of the year to make it easy on the people. And that's what makes it easier as far as funding the parades.
You know, Bob, we got about 2.5 minutes left. Take a minute and a half and just leave me 1 minute and wrap it up for us. Go ahead. Talk about whatever you like.
Well, we've got an election coming up this year. There's 13 people running for councilman at large. I was very successful last year. I came in second place. Miss Janino came in first. Okay.
Jessica, she's a very nice lady.
Yep. She really romped in the win, let me tell you. And I'm just hoping that people have faith in myself. If anyone knows me, I don't speak on every issue. I'm up there. Some meetings I'm very quiet up there, but I think it's foolish for any politician to be repetitive. If you say it's sunny out, okay, it's sunny out, but it's 95 degrees. Well, the next one, it's sunny out, 95 degrees, and it may rain. I mean, I don't like to be redundant. I only speak when I think I have to speak.
You know what I like about you? Because you say what you mean and mean what you say. You've done that throughout your whole career.
That's it, right. I'm up front, honest with the people.
Right.
And I think people know me well enough. They know that's me. Okay?
Right.
I'm not the best speaker in the world. I admit that. You know that.
I think you did a good job here, though.
Thank you, Morris.
And I hope we have every councillor that's running and everyone that's running for their wards or for at large.
Right.
Come up on our TV show. We'd love to have them.
I think it's a great opportunity for anyone to come here, okay, to explain who they are,
right,
etc. Because the media, and the cable TV and that, is the only place you're going to get really well known is on this program.
Right. So, Bob, I want to thank you for taking the time
Morris,
out to
my
come on with
pleasure.
us. Use the computer.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And God bless you, Bobby.
And thank you. I really appreciate it.
God bless the city of Revere and the people of Revere, especially our troops overseas and in America, all our service people, but most of all our great country, the United States of America. And thank you for listening, and hope to see you again next time with another great guest like former Mayor Bob Haas. Thank you.
Thank you.